let's begin with the team who wins every offseason outside the Cowboys in terms of amount of discussions. It's the New York Jets and their quarterback Aaron Rodgers. As you guys know, every Tuesday he's made an appearance on Pat McAfee. Here's what he said on McAfee about reports that he does not want to play for the Jets after this season.
As far as my future goes, I haven't told anybody in my life that I want to play in 2025 and not on the Jets. So that's 100% false. I actually said the opposite. I said that I'm going to wait and see what happens with at the end of the season, and if they want me back, and what happens with Brick, and what happens with the offensive staff, and obviously the GM at the time, and then they just fired Joe. There's a lot of things out of my control when it comes to that, but I've really enjoyed my time in New York. I mean, obviously we haven't had success that we've all wanted to have, but I've made some great friendships on the team. I've enjoyed living in Jersey. I've enjoyed time in the city. I've enjoyed getting to know the fans, and I came here to win here. So I'm not jumping off ship, I definitely want to play and not in New York. I don't even know if I want to play yet, but New York would be my first option.
Is anybody else with me in the whole idea that he doesn't even know if he wants to play yet? And granted, maybe that's just, hey, he is honest, whereas other guys are not. I don't know. Do we really want a guy to come back as quarterback next year who we don't think he actually wants to play? Is that crazy? To just tell Aaron Rodgers, yeah, look, dude, I get that you don't want to play, or not sure you want to play, but we don't actually want you if you're not sure you want to play. My best guess is he's done. Everyone says, hey, there could be a new head coach. Hey, it could be. Remember, his draw to come to the Jets was that he would have some decision-making power with the Jets, with their personnel. That will go away with the new GM. Right? Anybody who takes that job is going to sit there and go hey, the last guy, he was doing okay, right? Joe Douglas? Yeah. He was doing pretty good? Sure. And then what led to his downfall? Well, Aaron Rodgers told him to take a bunch of guys and none of them are any good. But they're Aaron Rodgers' buddies. Do you think the next guy is going to acquiesce to Aaron Rodgers' desires? Probably not. People don't usually play for, GMs that didn't want to acquire them. Now, it could be a special case where it's somebody who he has a relationship with and the fit may be better than we're giving credit. I'm willing to believe that. But the likelihood is these are the waning days of Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't know if he wants to play. He's not playing particularly well consistently. He's not going to get a year younger. He's going to get a year older. All of those things that he got to skip the past couple years, he won't get to skip because you got a new head coach. So unless they're going to hire one of his buddies, which seems at least slightly to completely unlikely, Aaron's not going to play for the Jets next year. And if he's not going to play for the Jets next year, probably not going to play in the NFL next year. How do you feel even if that was your team and you're like, do you want to play next year? I don't know. I got to think about it.
Well, I would say if you polled 10 Jets fans, 9 of them do not want him back. There may be one that says, okay, maybe if we just have better coaching, but I think that fan could be delusional because sometimes some Jets fans are. I don't think they want Aaron Rodgers back. I don't think that they would want him in a New York uniform in 2025. I think they want a complete fresh start. If you're a new head coach, why would you want Aaron Rodgers back? It doesn't make much sense to have him come in and try to have the say that he has. So to me, this is, you know what it's similar to? It's similar to last year with the Achilles injury, where Rodgers always controls his narrative and controls the narrative around him. And last year was, hey, I may return this year. I may be back. Look, Aaron Rodgers showed up. He's throwing on the sidelines. He could come back. The Jets could have hope. And the Jets fans were hanging on to that hope when it was never really realistic that he was going to have a comeback. If it truly was realistic, I would even say that he could have handled it differently, but he always kept it out there. And I think that this is almost like a test balloon in that way. Let's see where this goes, and then I'll control the narrative after that. So we'll see how people respond. We'll see really how Jets fans feel about me and my return, and then I'll control it after that and saying whether I do or don't want to play again.
Do you think there's any way he's back next year?
No,
in New York.
I don't. That would be I wouldn't take the job if I knew Aaron Rodgers was coming back next year if I'm a head coach or a GM. It would be my first order of business. Because it's not only his lack of ability anymore compared to what he once was, it's just of his personality and everything that he does within the team. And
correct. There isn't previously you could go, yeah, but he's one of the best throwers of the football that we've ever seen. And now you can say he was, but he is not now.
Yeah. If you're a young head coach getting your first head coaching gig,
no chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
No chance.
If you're a retread head coach,
no chance.
Doesn't make sense. What about if you were a coach that got along with Aaron Rodgers?
The only one you could think of would be if they fired Mike McCarthy, he got a soft landing, and they both said, like, it didn't work out at the end of last one, but we did win a Super Bowl together. That's like literally the only guy on earth that could maybe.
Yeah, and that's what I was going with. And do you think the Jets really want to hire Mike McCarthy?
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
I don't even know if Mike McCarthy would want to do that.
No, he'd want to count all his money from the Cowboys if he gets even fired from the Cowboys.
This is what's just... And, Jeff Ulbrich said yesterday they have no intention of shutting him down and Rodgers having his future. But to me, it's him laying the groundwork and then throwing out that test balloon to be like, I'd love to be back in New York, but I don't even know if I'm going to play next year. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to play next year. Well, then why would anybody want you to be their quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
What if you're a Jets fan? What if you're a Jets fan and you hear that answer? You know what he didn't say? He didn't say,
I just want to play for the Jets?
No, he didn't say, we've got a lot of good pieces here. I think this team, if given the right chemistry, could be really good moving forward. Like if you're a Jets fan, there was no hope in that answer. In fact, what did you find out? That he's made a lot of friends in the building, and he loves living in New Jersey. What does that do for a Jets fan? Like, there's just zero hope in that answer for the franchise.
Nobody wants him back. They really don't.
But he loves living in Jersey, Dan.
Yeah.
It is a weird thing, isn't it? How literally nobody wants him back.
Well,
it just is. Nobody in Green Bay wants him back. No one in Green Bay is like, man, miss us some Aaron Rodgers. It's just not. It was just done there, just like it's just done in New York. And there's so much collective eye rolling in the things he said in the NFL. It's really amazing. A guy who's that, and they'll all say, like, peak Aaron Rodgers, probably as good as anybody or better than anybody who's ever done it. But we are way past peak. We're way past peak. Now he's like one of those avocados in the store which you buy and you're like, yeah, I know this is going to be bad. But like, what are my choices? A green avocado or this one that is black and clearly has some dents in it? And then you're like, am I really going to scrape off all these bruises for that one little good piece of avocado?
Yep. Well, I got an avocado. I do have that. I do have a veteran quarterback.
Hun, you said I get an avocado. You said get an avocado, and you said get an avocado that's ripe. I got an avocado that's ripe. They're like, your wife or girlfriend's like, yeah, that's like black and useless. No. Look, it's soft. It's very, very useful. If I get your green one, you can't use it all. You can still use this. You just gotta go around the bad spots. And then you open up that avocado, and it's got that musty avocado past date smell.
I also can't. I did not hear the entire interview, so I
sure.
don't want to say. I just heard the clips, but in the little bit that I did hear, and I will completely admit that I'm wrong if he did say this. They're out of the playoff picture right now. They're three games back of the Broncos in the loss column. They've already lost to the Broncos, so you're 3-8. You're not making the playoffs. But Aaron Rodgers weaved this fairy tale last year that he was going to come back and save the day. Like, is he doing any weaving of a fairy tale that this team still has like meaningful football to play? And I know we're talking about more about his future, but I would
Not
think
really.
That, yeah,
I don't think. I think the answer is a quite obvious no. Right.
No.
That's why this fairy tale.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
yes, exactly. That
Yeah.
the reality is the Jets don't have a shot, and Rodgers knows that. But he'll spin a fairy tale for other stuff involving him, but he's not going to do it about his team's playoff chances, say this year, because that's not necessarily about him.
Yeah, he's the worst kind of selfish dude that makes it out like he's really out to help other people when all you have to do is you don't even go dig below the surface. It's super selfish stuff. It's super selfish stuff.